All right, let's unlock some serious financial wisdom today. We're diving deep into The Richest Man in Babylon.
Ooh, a classic.
It is. It's almost a century old, but,
Right.
it's packed with advice that's surprisingly relevant to building wealth,
Yeah.
even in 2025. So
Absolutely.
what if the keys to your financial freedom were hidden in these ancient Babylonian tales?
It's fascinating, how timeless these principles really are. Even though it uses these parables set in ancient Babylon, it boils down to core concepts.
Yeah.
Like saving, investing wisely, and steering clear of debt.
Mm.
Ideas that are just as powerful today.
Yeah, so, the book is full of these parables and advice, but what are some of the most important nuggets that we should be paying attention to?
One of the biggest takeaways is the idea of paying yourself first.
Okay.
The book highlights the 7 cures for a lean purse. And the very first cure is to start by saving at least 10% of your income before you even think about spending.
10%. That might sound like a lot, especially when there's so many things to spend money on these days.
Yeah.
Why is that specific number so important?
Well, think about it like this. You're making your money work for you right from the start.
Okay.
That 10% is the seed of your financial future.
Right.
The book emphasizes that building wealth is a gradual process. It's like a farmer patiently cultivating their crops.
Okay.
You wouldn't eat all your seeds, would you?
That's a great analogy. I'm starting to see how this ancient wisdom can be applied even today.
For sure.
But what about investing? The world of finance is so different now.
Right.
How did these ancient principles translate to things like index funds and robo-advisors?
Yeah, that's where the 5 laws of gold come into play.
Okay.
These laws are basically guidelines for handling your wealth. The first law emphasizes the power of consistent saving, which we just talked about.
Right.
The second law digs into how to make that money work for you through wise investments.
So save diligently and then make those savings grow.
Exactly.
Got it.
Yeah.
But honestly, with so many investment options out there, it can feel overwhelming.
Yeah.
Where do I even begin?
You're absolutely right.
Yeah.
The financial landscape is way more complex now than in ancient Babylon.
Right.
But one of the key principles that still holds true is the power of compound interest.
Okay.
Imagine a snowball rolling down a hill. It starts small, but as it rolls, it gathers more snow and grows bigger and bigger.
Right.
That's the magic of compound interest. And it's something that the Babylonians understood even back then.
Wow. I never thought about compound interest that way. It's like a snowball effect, but with money.
Exactly.
Or are you saying that even if I start small, those savings can really add up over time thanks to compound interest?
Exactly. And we have tools today that can help you harness that power even more effectively. Things like high-yield savings accounts and index funds can help your money grow exponentially over time.
So it's like the ancients gave us the map, and we've just upgraded the vehicles. Instead of burying gold talents in the backyard, we're using apps and algorithms to grow our wealth.
That's a great way to put it. But even with these modern tools, it's important to remember the wisdom behind them.
Yeah.
For instance, another one of the 5 laws cautions against putting your money into ventures that you don't understand.
Okay.
That's just as relevant today with all the trendy investments and get-rich-quick schemes out there.
Right. So it's not just about chasing the latest hot stock tick.
Exactly.
There's real value in taking the time to learn and understand where your money is going.
Absolutely.
It sounds like this book encourages a thoughtful, long-term approach to building wealth.
Yes.
Rather than quick fixes.
Absolutely. And another key point is seeking advice from those who know more than you.
Right.
Back then, it might have meant consulting with a wise merchant.
Yeah.
Today, we have financial advisors, reputable online resources, and even communities where people share their investment strategies.
So learning from those who have experience is crucial no matter what era you're in.
Right.
It's like having a mentor to guide you along the path to financial success.
Exactly. The book emphasizes that surrounding yourself with knowledgeable people is a key ingredient in the recipe for wealth.
Got it.
It's about combining ancient wisdom with modern tools and resources.
Yeah.
And that's something I think we can all benefit from.
This is so much more engaging than just reading a personal finance book.
I appreciate that.
Having you here to break down these concepts and connect them to modern examples really makes it all click into place.
For sure.
Well, before we get ahead of ourselves, let's dive a bit deeper into those 7 cures for a lean purse that you mentioned.
Right.
We talked about saving 10%.
Right.
But what are some of the other cures? And how do they relate to modern life?
It's interesting you mentioned modern life. The book might be set in ancient Babylon, but those 7 cures are surprisingly applicable even today.
Okay, so we talked about the first cure, saving 10% of your income.
Right.
What's next on the list for filling that lean purse?
Well, the second cure is all about controlling your expenditures.
Okay.
Now, this doesn't mean you have to live like a pauper.
Right.
But it does emphasize being mindful of where your money goes.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
It's like before you can really start building wealth, you need to make sure you're not constantly leaking money on unnecessary things.
Precisely. The book talks about budgeting and distinguishing between wants and needs, which is just as relevant today as it was back then.
Right.
We've got budgeting apps and online tools to help track our spending.
Yeah.
But the core principle remains the same. Understand where your money is flowing.
Right. So it's not just about scrimping and saving every penny.
Yeah.
It's about being intentional with your spending.
Absolutely.
And making choices that align with your financial goals.
Exactly. And this leads nicely into the third cure, which is making your gold multiply.
Okay.
In other words, investing your savings wisely. Okay.
We've already touched on this a bit, but it's a cornerstone of building long-term wealth.
But the book was written way before the internet and all these complex investment options.
Right.
How did the Babylonians approach investing?
They focused on investing in things that generated income or appreciated in value. One example from the book is a merchant who invested in a caravan.
Okay.
Which then brought him regular profits from the goods it transported.
So even back then, the idea was to put your money to work.
Exactly.
And create a stream of passive income.
Exactly. And today we have so many avenues to make our money multiply.
Yeah.
Real estate, stocks, bonds, even starting a side business.
Wow.
It's about finding the right investments that align with your risk tolerance and financial goals.
Okay. I'm seeing how these ancient ideas can still guide us today.
Yeah.
But what about those other cures? We've covered saving, controlling spending, and investing.
Right.
What else is on that list for banishing a lean purse?
Well, the fourth cure emphasizes guarding your treasures from loss.
Okay. This is all about making smart, informed investment choices.
Right. So avoiding those get-rich-quick schemes and trendy investments that could vanish overnight.
Exactly. It's about doing your research, seeking advice from experts, and not falling prey to hype or promises of unrealistic returns.
Right.
This ties back to one of the 5 laws of gold we mentioned earlier, seeking advice from those who are competent in the art of handling money.
That's a good reminder. It's easy to get caught up in the excitement of a hot new investment.
Yeah.
But it's important to step back and make sure you're not putting your hard-earned savings at risk.
Absolutely. And the next cure builds on that idea.
Okay.
It's about making of thy dwelling a profitable investment.
Interesting. I'm guessing that doesn't just mean buying a house, right?
You're right. It's more about the underlying principle.
Okay.
Back in ancient Babylon, owning your own home was seen as a way to build security and wealth.
Right.
It meant you weren't paying rent to someone else, and your property could appreciate in value over time.
So how does that translate to modern times, especially with rising housing costs in many cities? Is owning a home still a realistic path to building wealth?
It's a great question, and one that depends on individual circumstances.
Right.
While owning a house can still be a good investment, it's not the only way to build wealth through property.
Right.
There are alternatives like real estate investment trusts or REITs, which allow you to invest in real estate without having to buy a property outright.
Oh, I've heard of those, but wasn't really sure what they were.
Yeah.
Can you explain a bit more about how REITs work?
Sure. REITs are companies that own and operate income-producing real estate.
Okay.
You can buy shares of these companies, which gives you a piece of the ownership and allows you to participate in the profits generated by the property.
Ah, I see. So it's like having a slice of the real estate pie.
Exactly.
Without having to buy the whole thing.
Exactly. And there are even REITs that specialize in specific types of properties like residential, commercial, or even healthcare facilities.
So even if I can't afford to buy a house right now, I can still participate in the real estate market through REITs. That's really cool.
It's one way to apply the principle of making your dwelling a profitable investment, even if you don't own a traditional home.
Okay, so we've covered 5 of the 7 cures.
Right.
What are the last 2 on this list for financial well-being?
The 6th cure is about ensuring a future income.
Okay.
The book emphasizes the importance of planning for the future and taking steps to secure your financial stability even when you're no longer working.
That's smart.
Yeah.
It's easy to get caught up in the present, but planning for the future is crucial.
Yeah.
Especially with longer lifespans and the rising cost of living.
Absolutely. The Babylonians understood that you can't rely on working forever.
Right.
They stressed the importance of creating a nest egg that could provide income even after you retire. Today, we have tools like retirement accounts and long-term investment strategies that can help us achieve this.
So it's like building a financial safety net for your future self.
Exactly. And finally, the seventh cure emphasizes increasing your ability to earn.
This is where we step up our game and boost our earning potential.
Precisely. The book encourages us to continually seek knowledge, improve our skills, and find ways to increase our income over time.
Okay.
It's about investing in ourselves and becoming more valuable in the marketplace.
Okay, so it's not just about managing the money we have.
Right.
But also about finding ways to grow our income streams.
Exactly. And in 2025, there are so many resources to help us do that.
Yeah.
Online courses, workshops, mentorship programs.
Right.
The possibilities are endless.
It's like the book is saying, don't just sit on your gold talents. Go out and earn more.
That's a great way to put it. And remember, this ties back to one of the 5 laws of gold, seeking advice from those who are competent.
Right. So finding mentors, joining communities, and learning from those who have already achieved what we aspire to.
Exactly. It's about combining ancient wisdom with modern resources to create a powerful recipe for financial success.
This conversation has been so insightful.
Oh, good.
And I feel like we've only just scratched the surface of what the richest man in Babylon has to offer.
Yeah.
It's incredible how these ancient principles can still guide us today.
It's a testament to the enduring power of these fundamental truths.
Yeah.
About wealth and human behavior.
You know, one thing that struck me about the book is how it emphasizes the importance of taking action.
Yes.
It's not enough to just read about these principles.
Right.
We have to actually implement them in our lives.
Absolutely. It's not enough to just read about these principles. We have to actually implement them in our lives.
Right. So it's like we've been given these seeds of financial wisdom.
Yeah.
And now it's up to us to nurture them and watch them grow.
That's a beautiful way to put it. And just like a garden, our financial well-being requires ongoing care and attention. It's not about finding a magic formula. It's about making those consistent small efforts that compound over time.
I think that's a really important point. You know, we live in a world of instant gratification.
Right.
Where we're constantly bombarded with these promises of quick riches and overnight success.
Yeah.
But the richest man in Babylon reminds us that real wealth is built slowly and steadily.
Right.
Through discipline and wise choices.
It's like the tortoise and the hare, right?
Right.
Slow and steady wins the race when it comes to building lasting wealth.
Exactly. And I think that's a message that can be really empowering. It means that anyone, regardless of their background or current financial situation, can take steps to improve their financial well-being.
It's about taking ownership of your financial journey and recognizing that you have the power to make choices that will shape your future.
Well said. As we wrap up this deep dive, I'm curious, is there a particular lesson or quote from The Richest Man in Babylon that really resonated with you?
Oh, there are so many good ones, but one that stands out is, where the determination is, a way can be found.
Oh, I like that one.
It's a powerful reminder that we often limit ourselves with our own beliefs. If we're truly committed to achieving our financial goals, there's always a way to make it happen.
That's inspiring. And it reminds me of another quote from the book. A part of all you earn is yours to keep. It's such a simple statement, but it highlights the importance of saving and investing for ourselves, even when it feels like there are so many demands on our income.
Exactly. It's about prioritizing our own financial well-being and making choices that align with our long-term goals.
I feel like this deep dive has been like a financial wake-up call. It's not just about learning new tips. It's about shifting our mindset and taking a more proactive approach to managing our money.
I couldn't agree more. The Richest Man in Babylon offers timeless wisdom that can guide us on our journey to financial freedom, no matter where we're starting from.
Well, on that note, I want to thank you for joining me on this incredible journey back to ancient Babylon. I hope our listeners feel inspired and empowered to take control of their financial futures.
It's been a pleasure. Remember, the wisdom of the ancients is at your fingertips. Now it's time to make it your own.
And that's a wrap on this episode of The Deep Dive. Until next time, keep learning, keep growing, and keep striving to build a life of abundance.